All right. A nice early start today. Heading from here in lovely Madrid down to, or up to, I should say, London, and then down to Brighton for Brighton SEO. First time I've ever been to this conference, so looking forward to it. I think there's going to be some interesting stuff going on. So I'll be supporting the guys at 11 Writing who are doing a talk on attribution modeling. It's going to be a really interesting talk, so looking forward to seeing that. After that, I'm going to walk along the floor and see some other talks, check out what everyone else is kind of talking about, see if I can grab some interviews, and then turn those into interesting insights for you all. Fingers crossed.
And just like that, and the time it's taken me to do my opening monologue from Madrid here to Brighton, we've now arrived at Brighton SEO. So let's go check it out.
So I attended quite a few talks now, which has been really good. There's some really great insights going on. Shockingly to no one, there's a lot around LLM. The thing I find interesting the most is that it's almost like a 50-50 split in terms of people being very pro for it and people not being anti, but being very like, be careful about how it's used and what you're kind of using it for. So lots of great talks, a lot around behavior as well, so behavioral psychology. I'm going to go find Christian now because he's probably finished his talk up. So I just want to get his thoughts on what happened and how the talk went in general. Christian, thank you for chatting with me today.
Yeah.
You just did your talk.
Yeah.
How did it go? How are you feeling afterwards?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good, thanks. There was some nodding along, going along in the crowd, and it was an interesting topic, so I think people were engaged, and yeah, it was good.
Perfect. So for people who weren't able to attend, what are the kind of main takeaways, the TLDR of the talk?
Yeah, for sure. So we identified a fundamental misalignment between content strategy and performance reporting. So my talk was all about that misalignment, how you can resolve it, and then some examples of the insights that you can garner from doing so.
Perfect. And what did you really hope that people were taking away, like those key moments that you were like, yes, if anyone's going to take anything away from this talk, let it be this?
So for me, it would just be the importance of tying content strategy back to performance, and maybe understanding some new ways of how to see and understand their audience, demonstrate ROI to stakeholders, and innovate with confidence.
All right, so now I want to go and have a chat with the companies that are exhibitioning here today, just to see what they're finding and the conversations they're having around the floor, basically. You've obviously been having a lot of chats, a lot of people coming by the stand.
Yeah.
What has been kind of the main takeaway? What are the questions you keep hearing again and again that people are struggling with?
Well, actually, do you know what? It's we're all a little bit sick of hearing about AI, I think is one theme that is emerging. But another theme that has been emerging maybe because of that or, in spite of that is the fact that people are leaning a lot more into like community and community marketing as a way to generate that visibility, but also it's that element of trust. Erin Simmons from the Women in Tech SEO community did a fantastic talk about it. And we've also got the FCDC, which is another fantastic community here at Brighton over the course of the 2 days. So I reckon there's just a lot more of those communities that are popping up. People want that real element of human connection and trust when it comes to marketing. It's not just about AI and, slop.
You've been having a lot of conversations over the last 2 days, right? People incoming. So what are the main kind of issues and questions they're coming to you with? What has been the standout?
I think two things. I think one is what kind of prompts should we be tracking? So of course you have keyword databases and AI search, this is not the case. And probably mathematically also not possible because prompts have a lot of context. They're different per person, personalization. So what prompts to track? I think that's a big challenge right now. And secondly, I think the popularity of analyzing server logs and analyzing, okay, what are these AI bots actually doing on my website? That's something that people are catching on to right now the most. So I think that's Those are the two main things that we have been talking about.
Where do you kind of see the future of this AI visibility heading, or where do you hope it kind of goes?
Yeah, I think from what we are seeing is AI, because the whole funnel happens within that same chat, instead of traditional search where there's so many touch points that a user needs to take. So the user journey is quite different, and the users convert much better than your traditional search. So it's about 3 to 8x better than traditional search. That's why what's really important is, even though you might be getting like 1% of your traffic from ChatGPT or AI search, that traffic converts much better. So that's something that you need to start focusing on, because it's like low effort, high impact activity that you can start doing. And because most brands are not focusing on it at the moment, the ones which do focus on it will start seeing immediate impact instead of a longer term thing.
Let's completely ignore the fact that I forgot to record the piece to camera for this bit, and that's why you're getting a voiceover. But I of course wanted to speak to the attendees as it was all wrapping up, so let's see what the good people attending Brighton SEO had to say about what they learned and took away from the event.
How have you found Brighton SEO?
It's been amazing. Yeah, I'm actually from Brighton. I've been here, few years now, like coming along, and yeah, it's been. I think, particularly this one, like with everything that's going on in the industry, it's quite funny. Everyone joked about AI being mentioned in every talk, and it was literally mentioned in every talk. So we're all there.
Harry, what's the highlights been of Brighton SEO?
So I think so far it's been more so around the elements around LLM in terms of the importance of AI overviews and LLM tracking, more to the point around the semantic optimization in terms of understanding more in terms of the intent as opposed to just the sort of prompts that you would get from ChatGPT and everything else. So for me, that's sort of the biggest response so far from the event, I think.
Would you say that there was a prevailing topic that kept coming up over and over again?
AI.
And what do you think of AI?
There's a very big hype around that. I understand why. But I'm a bit tired of that hype.
I think we are obviously at the beginning of something that's going to crystallize into something a lot more solid. Particularly with LLMs, because of the way that I think we're beginning to get an understanding of what really makes a difference there and what really will work there. So yeah, but it's very early days, right? Like we've been so used to SEO had been a mature space where people had to update with algorithms and so on, but it's completely changed now. And I can definitely see that. And so I'd say that would be the big thing. It still feels at the early days. It's early days now, right? Like if you in 5 years' time, if we're still dealing with LLMs, things are going to be a lot more clear. There'll be fewer players. There'll be a lot more condensed. So it's an interesting time in history, I think.
And there we go. That is a wrap on Brighton SEO 2025. Oh, it was good fun. It was very interesting to speak to people in my industry and just kind of get their understanding in terms of like what's going on and how they're kind of viewing the world. The talks are all super insightful. Everyone is really switched on when it comes to how they're talking about the data collection, the surfacing, and just all the LLM conversations that, let's be honest, there were plenty of them, but they were all very good and very insightful for how people are practicing and pushing this idea forward, even though it is technically still quote unquote new. Interesting thing at the end there was chatting with people just at the after drinks and getting their kind of like very honest thoughts about what's happening. And I should probably take off this lanyard, otherwise I'm just gonna get choked by the wind. Their conversation points were very interesting because I said, what was the prevailing theme that you saw across the whole event? And they were very right to say AI LLM. But the interesting part was that everyone is curious about where they can take it and what to do next with it. And there were half the people I spoke to said, oh, I'm sick of talking about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't believe the companies know what they're really doing with it. And then the other half were incredibly excited and enjoying seeing where this is heading and what it involves. And the overall theme and the overall takeaway, I'd say, is that everyone is still very much wanting that human in the loop. And they're very curious to see
what the next 2 to 5 years kind of brings, because as we know, it changes so much and so rapidly. So it's a bit of a weak wrap up and a bit of a weak takeaway, but we are in a situation at the moment where we're experimenting. Everything is slightly new, although it's the same. So we just kind of have to see how it all plays out, what surfaces, and what the end result is. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this mini vlog on Brighton SEO and got some good takeaways from us. Make sure to subscribe to the 11 Writing channel for further insights through podcasts, videos. We also have the blog as well. And we'll be back again soon with another conference and, of course, Brighton SEO. Thanks, everyone.